Ever notice how some days you're just raring to go, totally pumped to crush that to-do list?
Yeah.
And then other days it feels like you're like stuck in mud,
Oh, absolutely.
just trudging through it.
Ugh. Yeah.
Well, today we're going to dig into one of the big reasons why that is.
Okay.
It all comes down to how you see your future.
Interesting.
And get this, it turns out the way you picture what's ahead has a crazy strong impact on how motivated you feel right this second.
Right. Yeah.
So, welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
It's all about that future time perspective,
Future time perspective.
or FTP for short.
FTP, okay.
Yeah, you can think of it as like how far ahead you're actually looking,
Okay.
how much weight you put on those future goals you have.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the big one, how all that actually gets you moving today.
So, it's more than just like jotting down some vague goals in your planner.
Right.
It's really about how clearly you can see those future scenarios,
Yeah.
like how vivid they are in your mind and how much they matter to you right now in this moment.
Yes, exactly.
Not just, oh yeah, someday I want.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm feeling this pull.
It's real.
Okay, so I'm already intrigued.
And you know what's super fascinating is that research has shown
What's that?
it's not just about having a future in mind,
Okay.
but it's about what kind of future you're locked onto.
Oh, interesting.
That's the real driver.
The kind of future.
We've got tons of studies that have really dug into this.
Oh, awesome.
Our aim today is to give you a solid grasp on how you can actually use your own outlook on the future as a way to boost your motivation,
Yeah.
to supercharge your learning,
Okay.
and even to help you stick with things when they get tough.
Okay, so almost like building this mental time machine that can, like, fuel your actions today.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
So let's start with the basics.
sure.
How is someone who's just thinking short-term different from someone who's thinking long-term?
So if you've got a short future time perspective,
Short FTP.
yeah, short FTP,
Yeah.
your main focus is on goals that are pretty much right around the corner.
Okay.
Things you want to get done, very soon.
Right, right.
But on the flip side, if you've got a long, we could say deep FTP,
Deep, okay.
you're thinking about and actually working towards things that are way further down the line.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, like, planning your weekend versus, like, planning your career trajectory.
Exactly. That's a perfect example.
Okay, and the research dives into these cognitive and dynamic parts of FTP.
Right.
Can we try to unpack those a little bit?
Totally.
Because I'm a little lost on that.
Yeah, sure.
What does that even mean?
So think of the cognitive side as like having this super detailed mental map of your future.
Okay.
And if your FTP stretches out further, you can actually start placing your current goals, your plans, even just the stuff you're working on right now on that timeline.
Okay.
And that lets you see how useful they are.
Right.
You see the utility of what you're doing today.
Okay.
So for instance, you can grasp that, say, putting in the effort for a class you might not love right now isn't just about getting a decent grade on that next test.
Right.
It's a step toward getting into a good university,
Okay.
which then opens doors to a career you're actually excited about.
Right, right.
Someone with a shorter FTP might not make those connections as easily.
So you're not just seeing the rung you're on.
Yeah.
You're seeing, like, the whole ladder.
Exactly. You see the bigger picture.
Okay, and then what about that dynamic aspect?
Right. So the dynamic side is all about how much those far-off goals actually matter to you today.
Yeah.
Like how much weight they carry right now. And with a long FTP,
Yeah.
those future dreams, they actually feel more valuable in the present.
Okay.
It's almost like the mental distance shrinks, and the steps you're taking now feel more important because you see them as a more direct path to those big, important outcomes you're aiming for.
So it's not just, like, a pie-in-the-sky wish.
No, it's tangible.
It's like, no, this is real and it matters to me now.
Exactly. It's a real motivator.
Okay, so that future ambition becomes more, I don't know, like, it has more gravity in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, you feel the pull.
Okay, I like that.
And you know what's really interesting?
What?
This whole effect seems to be strongest for goals that are, like, in that mid-range future.
Mid-range.
Yeah, say 2 to 5 years out.
Oh, okay.
Things that are, like, super immediate, like what you're having for dinner tonight.
Right.
Or way far off, like retirement in 30 years.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be affected by your overall FTP in the same way.
That makes sense, because, like, I'm pretty sure most people are motivated to figure out dinner.
Yeah, that's a primal one.
Yeah, exactly.
And something decades away, that's just too abstract.
It is, even for someone who's pretty future-focused.
For anyone, really.
Yeah, okay. So it's almost like there's this sweet spot
It seems like it.
around that 2 to 5 year mark where you can really leverage that future thinking.
Right, if you want to tap into that power.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Goals that are too far out too soon might not have that same pull.
Exactly.
Okay, so thinking about what you want to achieve in the next few years,
Yes.
that might be the best driver.
Absolutely.
Okay, and now I know there's a bunch of research that's looked at how this connects to our actual motivation.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole body of work on this.
So how does having that long-term perspective actually translate into, getting stuff done?
Well, some of the early research was really interesting.
Yeah.
They looked at students and their motivation levels.
Right.
And back in the early 80s, they found this clear link
Okay.
between how far into the future a student was thinking
Mm-hmm.
and how motivated they were overall in their studies.
So the more future-oriented they were,
Exactly.
the more driven they were to actually do the work.
And the students who were more motivated, they tended to value those long-term goals more.
Okay.
And they saw their schoolwork as more useful.
Like they could see the connection.
Yes, more instrumental in reaching those goals.
Okay. So it's like they understood that acing that test today
Right?
was actually a step towards, their bigger goals.
Exactly. They could see that bigger picture.
Getting into their dream school or whatever.
Yeah, they understood how it all fit together.
Got it.
And this idea of perceived instrumentality.
Okay.
That's like how useful you think what you're doing right now is for reaching your future goals.
Right.
That kept popping up in later research, too.
That-
Like, they found this strong, positive relationship between having that long FTP,
Yeah.
seeing your actions as instrumental,
Right.
and feeling motivated.
So it's all connected.
It really seems to be.
Interesting.
Students with that longer view,
Mm-hmm.
they were more invested in what they were doing right now because they understood it was a necessary step to get to where they wanted to be.
They could see the path.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, I know they also looked at the
Yeah.
differences between highly motivated students and those who weren't.
They did. There was this study in the early 90s
Okay.
that compared high, medium, and low motivated high school students.
Yeah.
And they found that these groups, they had really different views
Okay.
on how useful doing your best in school was for their success in life.
Okay. So basically how much they thought school mattered.
Yeah,
I'll find out.
exactly.
Yeah.
And no surprise, the students who really saw that connection,
Mm-hmm.
they were the ones who are more motivated.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's like if you don't think it matters, you're not going to try as hard.
Exactly. You're not going to put in the effort.
Right.
But I remember reading something about
Yes.
how vocational students sometimes struggled even when they could see that connection to their future.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
What was going on there?
So research with vocational students who often face, their own set of motivational challenges
Good.
showed that even when they understood that, say, learning a specific skill could help them later on,
Yeah.
if the training itself was, like, boring
Yeah.
or just felt totally irrelevant,
Right.
their motivation could still tank.
Okay, so it's not enough to just know why you should do something
Right.
if the thing itself is just a total drag.
Exactly. The what has to be engaging, too.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there's another layer to this whole thing.
Okay, what's that?
Research from the late 80s brought in this idea
Okay.
that your overall attitude towards the future matters a lot.
Like, are you optimistic or pessimistic?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
They found that seeing your actions as useful
Mm-hmm.
only really boosted your motivation
Okay.
if you had a positive outlook on what was ahead.
So you have to actually believe in a good future
Yeah, it seems like it.
in order to be motivated to work towards it.
Right, because if you don't think a positive future is even possible,
Mm.
then seeing a path to it, it doesn't really inspire you.
It might even discourage you.
Yeah, it might even do the opposite.
Wow, that's really interesting.
It's like a prerequisite.
It is.
You got to believe in it first.
You have to believe that it's possible
Yeah.
for it to work.
It seems that way.
Wow, okay, so those early studies, they really set the stage, right?
They did. They showed us how important it is to have that long FTP and to see what you're doing now as steps towards something you want.
Right.
But they also started to hint that there's more to the story.
Okay, there's always more to this story.
There's ways.
So we know that seeing a future, that can be a huge motivator.
Right.
But more recent research has actually looked at how this affects the quality of our motivation.
Right. It's not just about how much motivation.
Yeah.
but like what kind of motivation?
Exactly. Are we just going through the motions to get to that future?
Yeah.
Or are we really engaged and learning deeply along the way?
Exactly. Are we just checking boxes?
Right.
Or are we really present in the process?
Yes, and that's a big difference.
It is.
So what did they find?
Well, researchers started asking if this perceived instrumentality not only made you more motivated,
Okay.
but also led to better learning outcomes.
So things like actually understanding the material.
Yeah, like the deeper grasp of the concepts
Okay.
and a genuine interest in the task itself.
Okay, so not just doing it because you have to.
Exactly, but actually finding it interesting.
Right, having that
Intrinsic motivation.
intrinsic motivation.
Yes.
Okay.
And they started using more experimental methods
Okay.
to try and find that cause and effect link.
Right, to be more sure about what was causing what.
Exactly, to get a clearer picture.
And I know the research also started to go beyond just academic settings.
It did, yeah.
So it's not just about school anymore?
Right, they looked at things like sports,
Yeah.
personal development, all sorts of areas.
Well.
Yeah, it became much broader.
So it's really about, does this help me achieve a goal, but also, does this make me actually want to do the work?
Exactly, that enjoyment factor.
Okay, got it.
And this shift in focus, it led to a more, I guess you could say, nuanced understanding of motivation.
Okay.
They started looking at whether our drive comes from external pressures
Okay.
or internal desires.
Right, so the classic external versus internal motivators.
Exactly.
But how does that connect with future perspective?
So they essentially combine two ideas.
Okay.
One, how useful you think a task is for your future. And two, whether you're doing it for external rewards or internal satisfaction.
Okay, interesting.
And this led to this framework with 4 types of instrumentality.
4 types. Okay, break those down for me.
Okay, the first one is called low utility external regulation.
Low utility external regulation.
Or LUE.
LUE. Okay.
And this is basically when you're doing something just because you feel like you have to. Maybe it's required or you're driven by those external rewards like grades or approval.
Right.
But you don't personally see it as helpful for your own goals.
Okay. So like studying for a test on something you know you'll never use again.
Exactly.
Just to avoid failing.
Yeah, just to get through it.
Okay, been there, done that.
I think we all have.
What's next?
Okay, the second one is low utility internal regulation.
Low utility internal regulation.
Or LUI.
LUI.
Okay, so here you still don't see a direct link to your future goals.
Okay.
But your motivation comes from within.
Got it.
You might be doing it for personal growth because you find it interesting.
Right.
Or because it aligns with, like, your overall self-improvement.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't directly contribute to your career or specific plans.
So like pursuing a hobby.
Yeah, a hobby's a good example.
Just because you enjoy it.
Exactly.
And it makes you feel good.
Right.
Even if it's not going to like get you a promotion.
Exactly. It's for you.
Okay, got it.
The third type is high utility external regulation.
High utility external regulation.
Okay. So HU.
HUE.
And in this case, you are working towards those future goals.
Okay.
And you see how this task is useful. But your main drivers are still those external factors.
Okay.
Things like wanting a high-status job.
Right.
Financial success, recognition from others.
So you're working towards that future career, but it's more about the prestige or the paycheck.
Exactly, the external validation.
Okay, and then the final one.
Right, the last one is high-utility internal regulation.
High utility internal regulation.
HUI.
HUI, got it.
This is when you're going after goals that are deeply connected to your own values,
Okay.
your sense of who you want to be. Your motivation comes from wanting to be competent,
Right.
to do a good job because it's meaningful to you,
Okay.
to achieve something that resonates with your beliefs.
So it's really about the why behind the goal.
Exactly, the deeper motivation. Like wanting to be a good doctor because you truly care about helping people,
Right.
not just because of the status or the money.
Right. That makes it crystal clear.
Yeah, it's a subtle but important difference.
Okay, and I'm guessing the research found some pretty big differences in how these types of instrumentality actually play out.
Oh yeah, they did.
So tell me, what did they learn?
Well, HU.
High utility internal regulation.
That one generally came out on top.
Okay.
They found that when people had that combination, they were more focused.
Okay.
They had a stronger interest in what they were doing, and they got better results.
So when you see the value in something and you're driven by those internal desires,
Yeah,
that's the magic combo.
it seems to be.
Okay, and what about the opposite?
So LUE,
low utility external regulation.
That one was linked to, well, less good outcomes.
Okay, so less engagement, lower performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, makes sense.
Right.
If you don't see the point and you're only doing it because someone's making you,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to be super invested.
Not going to give it your all.
Right.
The research really highlights that.
What's that?
When you feel like your efforts are truly contributing to a future you care about, and when your motivation comes from within,
Yeah.
that's when the good stuff happens.
You get those positive learning experiences.
Yeah.
And better results.
You're more likely to succeed.
So it's not just about seeing a future. It's about seeing a future that really fits with who you are.
Exactly. One that resonates with you.
And what you want to be.
It's got to be meaningful.
Okay, and that makes me think about, the actual content of those future goals.
Yes, that's a key part of it.
And the context, like the environment where we're pursuing them.
Right. Those things matter too.
So let's talk about that.
Totally.
So we've got intrinsic and extrinsic future goals, right?
Exactly.
Can you walk us through those?
Yeah. So intrinsic goal.
Those are the ones that are like satisfying in themselves.
Okay.
Like helping your community,
Right.
improving your health, focusing on personal growth.
Okay. So things that are fulfilling in and of themselves.
Exactly. They have that inherent value.
And they're tied to those basic psychological needs, right?
Right. Things like competence, autonomy, and relatedness.
That feeling of being connected to others.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then what about extrinsic goals?
Extrinsic goals, they're more about external validation.
Okay.
So things like status, wealth, physical attractiveness.
Right. Those more external markers of success.
Exactly. It's about how others see you.
Okay. So it sounds like the underlying reason for that future goal is crucial.
It really is.
It's not just about the goal itself.
Right. It's about the why behind it.
And what did the research find about, like, the impact of these different types of goals?
Well, they found that when people were working towards intrinsic goals,
Okay.
they tended to learn better, perform better, and stick with things longer. So working towards something you genuinely care about,
Yes.
that seems to be much more powerful
It does.
than chasing those external rewards.
Right. It's more sustainable.
Okay, so tapping into those deeper whys for the future,
Yeah.
that's key.
It really seems to be.
And you also mentioned the context earlier.
I did.
So like the environment we're in while we're pursuing these goals.
Yeah, that plays a role too.
How so?
Researchers have looked at whether the environment is autonomy supportive or controlling.
Okay, can you explain those a little bit?
Sure. An autonomy supportive environment is one where you feel like you have choices.
Okay.
Your opinions matter.
Right.
And there's not a lot of pressure.
So basically you feel supported.
Yeah, and respected.
Right.
A controlling environment, on the other hand, it's a lot of pressure. Strict deadlines, maybe even a bit of a coercive vibe.
Right, like you have to do this and you have to do it this way.
Yeah, no room for individuality.
We've all had those bosses
I think we all have.
who micromanage every single thing.
Yeah, not fun.
And then the ones who just like trust you to do your thing.
Exactly, night and day.
So what did the research find about the impact of these different environments?
Well, just like with those intrinsic goals, being in an autonomy supportive environment led to better outcomes,
Right.
better learning, better performance, more persistence.
So feeling supported really makes a difference.
It does.
And what's really interesting is that these two things, they can actually amplify each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you're working on something you find personally meaningful, and you also feel like you have some control over how you do it,
Okay.
and that you're supported in your efforts,
Right.
that's like the ideal scenario.
The motivation dream team.
You could say that.
Okay, awesome. And I remember you mentioned specificity earlier.
I did.
How does that fit into all of this?
So how specific those future goals are, that matters too.
So, like, having clearly defined goals instead of just, like, vague ideas.
Okay.
They actually compared the impact of having specific goals
Okay.
with just general statements like, this is important for your future.
Right, right.
And the results were pretty surprising.
Okay. I'm all ears.
So you can probably guess that. Just saying, this is good for your future,
Yeah.
that's not super motivating.
It's pretty vague.
It
Doesn't give you much to grab onto.
Right, it's too general.
Okay.
And the research showed that framing tasks in terms of specific intrinsic goals,
Okay.
it's like, this will help you develop skills to contribute to your community,
Right.
that was way more effective than those vague statements.
Interesting.
And those vague statements, they were still better than emphasizing extrinsic benefits.
Okay, like, this will help you make more money.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So it seems like being specific about how something helps you reach a goal you value, that's more motivating than just saying it's important.
Yeah, it's more concrete.
Or that it'll lead to those external rewards.
Right, you need that clear connection.
Yeah. But here's the really crazy part.
Okay, what's that?
They found that just vaguely referring to the future,
Okay.
like just saying, this is important for your future, with no specifics, that might not even be better than not mentioning the future at all.
Well,
and emphasizing those extrinsic goals in a vague way, that could actually be worse than saying nothing about the future.
So a poorly defined or misaligned future, that can actually backfire.
It can.
That's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. It really shows how important it is to be specific about what future you're talking about and why it matters to you.
So it's not just about having a future vision.
Right.
It's about having the right kind of vision.
Exactly, and being clear about it.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've gone from that basic concept of future time perspective to understanding how the type of future we envision and even the environment we're in.
Right.
All of that affects our motivation.
It's all connected.
So as we wrap up, what are the big takeaways?
So the key thing to remember is that having a future perspective, that's generally good for motivation.
Okay.
But the kind of future you're focused on and why it's important to you, those are the crucial pieces.
So it's not just about setting any old goals.
No.
It's about setting the right goals.
Yeah, the ones that fit with your values.
And understanding why they matter to you.
Exactly. It's got to be personal.
So the secret to staying motivated, it's not just about having a vision. It's about having a vision that really clicks with who you are.
It's got to resonate with you.
Yeah, with what you care about.
And the research really points to this idea.
Okay.
That focusing on how your actions today contribute to those intrinsically valuable future goals.
So things like personal growth, well-being, making a difference.
Yeah, those deeper things.
Especially when you're in an environment where you feel supported.
Right. Where you have some autonomy.
That's the golden ticket.
It seems to be.
To staying motivated. And sticking with things when they get tough.
Yeah, that's when it really counts.
But on the other hand, we got to be careful about just focusing on those external rewards.
Right. Or those vague ideas about the future.
Because those are less likely to work.
Yeah, they might even make things worse.
So think about the why behind your goals.
Exactly. Dig deep.
Awesome. This has been super insightful.
Glad to hear it.
It really makes you think about how we approach our own goals.
Yeah.
And how we encourage others.
Right. It's about framing things the right way.
So to leave you, our listener, with something to ponder.
Take a minute to think about your own goals.
Okay.
Both the big ones and the small ones. Are they driven by those deeper desires?
Yeah.
Or are you mostly chasing external validation?
Good question.
And how clearly can you explain the link between what you're doing today and a future that really gets you fired up?
Right, one that you're excited about.
That's the key.
And maybe the most important question of all.
What's that?
What can you shift in your thinking to really tap into that power?
Yeah, harness that energy.
Of your own future time perspective.
That's the goal.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.